In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a form with Informality. So I'm already logged in here. We're going to click on this Create a Form button. And you see right here, this brings us up to our options to where we can choose some different things with this form. So here we can put in a form title. So we can go in here and maybe call this form Contact Information. Here we have the option to publish this form, so if we don't want to publish it right now and make it live to where somebody can respond, we don't want to check that, which I'm not going to at this moment. We can say that we want to include a CAPTCHA, which we usually recommend because it puts a little box at the bottom where users have to click on it to verify that they're human. That way you don't get a bunch of spam for your responses. So I'm going to check that. And then one submission per session means that only one person can submit this form for each session. I'm not going to check that box. Groups, you can go in here. If you're integrated with the CMS, it's going to pull your schools as groups in here, or you can just go in here and leave this as a My Forms group. You can also select whether you want to get a notification when a response has been submitted. You'll get an email, and then you can go in here and set specific email addresses for which users to notify. And then you also have the option to go in here and redirect this form to a specific website address after somebody has submitted the form, such as maybe your school district's homepage or your just particular school's webpage. So you can do that right there if you want to as well. So if we save those changes up there at the top, over here on the left hand side, this is where you can go in here and add your questions. And I'll try to walk through these fairly quickly just to give you an overview of what each of them do. All you have to do is there's a couple different ways you can do it. You can simply click and it will add that question, or you can drag and drop it to a certain area. It is completely up to you. But you saw content selection, what it did. If we pull that back up, it just pulls up a content box. And you can go in here and either maybe put directions in here. There's also areas to go in here and add different fields within this menu. But what I'm going to recommend you do is just try to stick with the options over here. This lets you get a little bit more specific on your own if you want to. That's content section. Single line text, that's basically just it's exactly what it is. You go in here and put in your question, say whether or not you want it to be required, and then that's going to give your users the option to respond to that question in a single line text. Number, that just only lets users enter numbers in that field. Phone number is a different field. That's going to give them the phone number placeholder there with the area code and the dashes. It's going to format for them automatically. Date, again, it's going to give them that, and they have the option to go in here and adjust that date if they want to, and it also brings up a calendar. Email, it's also going to automatically format those. It's going to make them use the @ symbol with that. Multi-line text, it's just going to allow your users to have a little bit more area to go in here and type in questions than it does with the single line text that we used up here. Drop down is exactly what it sounds like. You go in here and put a title. You can put a placeholder if you want to. There's already one in there, but then you can go in here and add different options if you wish to do that, and it gives them a drop down menu right there. Checkbox, that's going to let them go in here and just check that if they want to, so we can go in here and say done on that, and we can put a placeholder in there if we want to as well for that one. We save our changes here. Checkbox list, that gives them an option to select multiple checkboxes. So maybe for the first checkbox that we used right here, maybe this is an I agree button to the terms and conditions or something like that if you want to put that in here. And maybe this here is necessarily a list if you want your users to be able to go in there and select multiple things at once. Radio button list. What that does is it's instead of the checkboxes, it gives them the radio buttons, and of course they can only select one radio button at a time. a rating grid. You see right here that this gives you the option to go in here and adjust columns and rows in here. So you can do that if you want to do something like a rating, or if you need to adjust it to whatever you need to ask. There's also an address line in here, and again, it formats that to the address 1 and 2, city, state, and zip for you. And then a signature field, what that does is that goes in here and allows users to basically click on sign this form, and what they'll do is they'll have the option to either type their name, or they can draw their name if they want to, and then they can put in their email address and they will receive a copy of this form that they've submitted with it signed. And you noticed here whenever I was adding these in here that you can drag and drop these at any time. You can always go back and edit, and then you can delete a certain question if you want to. That's walking through how to build a form. Just make sure if you want it to be live, you click on the publish link and click on save, and then if you want to get the link, there's a view form button right there, and there is our live form right there on the formality site. That's how you build a form, and the just different options that you have to choose from. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us and we'll be happy to help.